For nearly 3 decades, a chilling pattern has haunted America, a pattern that slips beneath the surface of everyday life, only to resurface in the most tragic and mysterious ways. It's a story that begins at the water's edge, where the line between accident and intention blurs in the darkness. Over 45 young men, each one full of promise and potential, have vanished after what should have been an ordinary night out with friends. Their disappearances are sudden, their fates sealed in silence until, weeks later, their bodies are discovered in rivers or lakes, miles from where they were last seen. The pattern is as heartbreaking as it is perplexing. The official story, repeated time and again, is simple: accidental drowning. Authorities point to alcohol, poor judgment, and the dangers of water at night. But for the families left behind and for those who look closer, the explanation feels incomplete, like a puzzle with missing pieces. But what if it's not an accident? What if something far more sinister is lurking beneath the surface, waiting for the perfect moment to strike? Enter the Smiley Face Killer theory. A chilling notion that these deaths are not random but the work of a serial killer, or perhaps even a network of killers, leaving behind a taunting signature. A smiley face graffiti scrawled near the scene as if to mock the search for answers. The idea is as terrifying as it is persistent, connecting dots from the Midwest to the East Coast, weaving a web of fear and suspicion that stretches across the country. The victims are eerily similar: young, athletic, often college students, their last moments captured on grainy surveillance footage or remembered by friends. Each case echoes the last, as if following a script written by an unseen hand. Is it all just coincidence, a tragic series of unrelated events? Or is there something more sinister at play, a pattern that defies explanation? The smiley face, once a symbol of innocence and joy, has become a mark of mockery and fear, a haunting reminder that some mysteries refuse to stay buried. Do we accept the logical explanation, trusting the official reports? Or do we dare to follow the whispers, venturing into a world of conspiracy where every shadow hides a secret and every answer leads to more questions? This isn't just a true crime story, it's a modern ghost story, where the real ghosts are the unanswered questions that linger long after the headlines fade. And as of June 2025, those questions are louder than ever, echoing from the cold, quiet waters, demanding to be heard and refusing to let us look away. What's the pattern that has so many convinced? It's a checklist of chilling similarities. The victim, a young, athletic, successful man, usually a college student. The night out with friends, then suddenly separated, vanishing without a trace. His phone goes silent, panic sets in, and the search begins. Weeks later, his body is found in water, often with little decomposition. The cause of death? Almost always ruled accidental drowning. But skeptics ask, how does a healthy young man simply vanish and drown with no signs of struggle? And then the graffiti, a crude smiley face, spray-painted nearby. Retired detectives Kevin Gannon and Anthony Duarte see it as a killer's signature, not coincidence. For them, it's the final chilling piece of the puzzle. A taunt that turns tragedy into calculated murder, all connected by a sinister, smiling calling card. To truly grasp the weight and complexity of this theory, you have to look beyond the statistics and into the eyes of those it touches. These are not just names in a file or faces on a missing poster. They are sons, brothers, friends, and dreams interrupted. Their stories echo through the headlines, each one a haunting reminder of lives abruptly derailed and families left in limbo. Christopher Jenkins, just 21 years old, vanished on Halloween night in 2002 while celebrating with friends in Minneapolis. The city was alive with festivities, but for Christopher, the night took a dark turn. 4 months of agonizing uncertainty followed, until his body was discovered in the icy Mississippi River, miles from where he was last seen. The investigation wavered, first ruled a suicide, then a homicide, and finally, the cause of death was left undetermined. Each shift only deepened the mystery and the family's pain. Dakota James, 23, disappeared in Pittsburgh in 2017 after a night out with friends. Surveillance footage captured his last known movements, but then he simply vanished. 40 days later, his body surfaced in the Allegheny River, reigniting a wave of grief and suspicion. Authorities called it an accidental drowning, but Dakota's family, haunted by inconsistencies and unanswered questions, believes something more sinister happened that night. Paul Kochu, just 22, also disappeared from Pittsburgh in 2014 after a night out. Like the others, he was last seen alone, walking into the darkness. 3 months later, his body was found in the Ohio River. The injuries he sustained didn't match a simple fall, raising even more troubling questions. These cases are bound by chilling similarities: a night of drinking, a sudden disappearance, and a tragic discovery in a nearby river. The pattern is impossible to ignore. For the families, every day is a struggle between hope and despair, as they search for answers that never seem to come. The inconsistencies, unexplained injuries, missing clothing, gaps in timelines, fuel suspicions that these are not isolated accidents but pieces of a larger, more disturbing puzzle. These young men are more than statistics. They are the human face of a chilling mystery that continues to haunt their loved ones and communities. Their stories have become central to the theory, cited by amateur sleuths, journalists, and documentary filmmakers searching for answers and patterns. Each case is unique, marked by its own heartbreak and confusion, yet all are woven together by the same unsettling pattern that refuses to be ignored. Behind every headline is a family still searching for the truth, clinging to hope, and demanding justice for their loved one. As the files stack up and the questions multiply, the mystery only deepens, leaving a trail of heartbreak and uncertainty in its wake. Law enforcement approaches these cases with a perspective shaped by years of experience and hard evidence. Their view is often more grounded, less swayed by speculation or sensational theories. To them, there's no Smiley Face Killer, just a series of tragic, unrelated accidents that share unfortunate similarities. Each case is a heartbreak, but not necessarily a clue in a larger puzzle. Patterns, they argue, are often the result of confirmation bias, our tendency to see connections where none exist, especially when emotions run high and answers are elusive. Police in cities like Boston and Chicago have repeatedly debunked the theory, emphasizing that thorough investigations have found no evidence of foul play linking these cases. Their logic is straightforward. Young men, often unfamiliar with the area and impaired by alcohol, are at significant risk near water late at night. The combination of darkness, disorientation, and proximity to rivers or lakes can be deadly. Rivers and lakes are inherently dangerous, especially in the dark when visibility is low and help is far away. Accidents can happen quickly and silently. The lack of witnesses is not surprising. These incidents often occur late at night, in isolated spots where few people are around to notice or intervene. Forensic experts point out that smiley face graffiti is common, found in countless places and varying widely in style. It's a stretch, they say, to see it as a calling card. Linking these symbols as a killer's signature requires a leap of faith that isn't supported by the evidence. Investigators remain skeptical, focusing on facts rather than speculation. The timeline and geography of these incidents make the idea of a single killer, or even a coordinated network, highly improbable, if not impossible. For law enforcement, the simplest explanation is usually the right one. They rely on Occam's razor, favoring straightforward answers over elaborate conspiracies. Each case, they insist, deserves its own thorough investigation, without jumping to conclusions or weaving them into a sweeping conspiracy. In the end, law enforcement sees heartbreak and loss, not a hidden menace lurking in the shadows. Their focus remains on finding the truth for each family, one case at a time. The smiley face graffiti is the theory's most famous clue, but experts aren't convinced. The evidence linking graffiti to the deaths is thin at best. In many cases, the smiley face isn't even at the exact recovery site, just somewhere nearby. Urban waterways are covered in graffiti, smiley faces are everywhere. To single out one doodle as a killer's mark is cherry-picking. The symbols themselves vary wildly. Some simple, some elaborate, some barely recognizable. A real signature would be consistent. The variation suggests random graffiti, not a coordinated killer. In many cases, no smiley face is found at all. When the symbol is missing, the theory simply shifts to fit. For experts, the smiley face is a red herring, a distraction from the real, tragic causes. It's not a clue but a cultural icon, misread as evidence. The truth is likely far less cinematic. In the digital age, the smiley face killer theory exploded online. Social media, TikTok, Facebook, Reddit, became breeding grounds for speculation. Every new drowning is instantly linked to the theory, official statements dismissed as cover-ups. Online groups, some with tens of thousands of members, analyze every detail, often without training or evidence. This leads to wild speculation, every shadow a suspect, every coincidence a clue. In 2023, TikTok-fueled panic in New England forced police to intervene. Misinformation spreads fast, false confessions and baseless accusations go viral. Families and innocent people are sometimes caught in the crossfire. The theory persists because it's a compelling story, a real-life thriller you can join from home. It's easier to believe in a shadowy villain than in random tragedy. The internet didn't invent the theory, but it made it immortal. Online sleuths may mean well, but their actions often hurt the families at the heart of these tragedies. Grieving is hard enough, public speculation makes it worse. Families see their loved ones' photos used in viral videos, their stories twisted for clicks. Michelle Romano's family, for example, was re-traumatized when her image was used without consent. The constant online noise can create mistrust between families and police. Some families feel pressured to reject official findings, chasing alternative theories at great emotional cost. The pursuit of truth can prolong agony and prevent closure. Online investigators dissect autopsies, harass suspects, and rob families of their right to grieve in peace. The victims become characters in a never-ending story. Even good intentions can leave a trail of collateral damage. Why does this theory grip us so tightly? Humans crave patterns and stories. We want order in chaos. Random tragedy is hard to accept. A killer offers a narrative, a villain, a motive. The Smiley Face Killer theory is psychologically satisfying, even comforting. It's a modern myth, with all the ingredients of a true crime thriller. In an age of distrust, the idea of rogue detectives and online sleuths fighting the system is irresistible. It taps into our fear of hidden dangers and our desire to expose secrets. The digital age has given this myth a global stage. As long as uncertainty remains, the story will endure. Sometimes the scariest stories are the ones we tell ourselves. In 2025, we're caught between two worlds. The official record says these are tragic accidents, no evidence of a killer, no conspiracy. Law enforcement considers the case closed, but a passionate public sees patterns, graffiti, and cover-ups, a predator hiding in plain sight. The divide is more than opinion, it's a clash of worldviews. Each new case reignites the debate, fueling online forums and viral videos. Police and experts respond, but suspicion persists. The story is too powerful to let go. Will definitive proof ever bridge the gap? It seems unlikely. The mystery endures, suspended between fact and fear. And perhaps the most chilling thought is that we may never know the truth.